contrast, Port lost to Woodville by 54 points and Sturt annihilated Central by 51. Should be a great contest. Ginniver trying to get a quick kick. Couldn't do so, but there's a high tackle. And Tim Ginniver, who's been the centre of much discussion this week, will take the opening kick for the game. Has to go back over his mark. He plays on quickly to Phillips, acting captain today. Here's a floating kick, and it's been taken by Andrew Underwood, who's in good form. Underwood kicks out wide. It's a chance for Benson and Harvey. Harvey leads in the chase, gets a quick handball towards the boundary line, and he's found safety. We'll be happy with that result. Yes, much discussion this week about rovers in certain clubs. And Tim Ginniver has certainly come under the hammer unjustly, I feel, by certain quarters. The ball tapped forward by Big Reynolds. Quick kick again by Pater. And once again, that ball finds the boundary line on the outer side.
Yes, he's certainly an expert at that, Pater, getting those quick kicks away. Reynolds, number 5 for the Double Blues. He's held the Double Blues rucks together this season and has done a fine job with Kitschke. Opposed today to Lum. Jostling heavily for position. Reynolds from behind, but Curtis rows the ball cleverly. Curtis playing centre today, drives forward. Underneath that one's Belton, just wide of Belton, however. In fact, it's gone out of bounds on the full. Belton, of course, is the brother of Paul Belton, now playing with West Adelaide. Great player for the Magpies, late 70s and early 80s. Now the Double Blues through Darvanese have come wide. Now Whittle see an opportunity. He was pushed in the back by O'Brien. The umpire has seen it. A little bit ticky touchwood now. He plays on quickly. Now umpire Schramm has called the player back. David I was the man going off with the ball, and Schramm has called him back over the mark. Now, we've spoken about that play to advantage rule. Double Blues certainly took the opportunity of playing the rule on that occasion. They were called back by Schramm. Whittlesea, of course, ruck roving out of a back pocket. An unusual move by Merv Kane. Now through the centre. Looking for Comp. Phillips and Comp in opposition. Phillips stronger body work. He's thrown to the ground by Comp. They're going to have a battle royal today. Plenty of body work for sure. Now Lum. Forward. Darren Smith overran the ball. Now it's an opportunity for the Magpies. Abernathy runs into the open goal. He fires away. The first one on the board for the Magpies. First to Abernathy, and that's the start that Russell Ebert would have wanted.
And certainly the Port Adelaide supporters appreciating that start. They've definitely been in the doldrums the last few weeks, the Magpies. They've received plenty of press this week, and that's the only way to reply to such criticism. Goals on the board and winning games of football, so it's a good start. They've got a long way to go. But I can assure you this young Sturt side will certainly bounce back.
Yes, they played very well last week. Back at centre, the Double Blues would need a quick reply. They played very well against the Bulldogs. They won by 51 points. Their form has been very good. Scott Field out of the centre with the left boot. Forward he goes. Plomp heavily with good body work. Well done. Over the top of the ball for Port Adelaide is Harrison. And he's enforced the ball up. The umpires today, Michael Abbott and Darryl Schramm. Schramm puts the ball to ground. Reynolds took front position, got it down. Quick kick came forward from Smith. Out there was Muskeni. Under plenty of pressure, Colin Ball. It's a push in the back. The umpire called play on. Now desperate work back in defence. Underneath that one's John Harvey. Muskeni, of course, there in screen for the Double Blues. 3 goals last week and a fine display of roving. Schramm puts the ball to ground again. Kitschke comes in to do the ruck work. Lum taps it out of bounds. Or does he? No, Ginniver's kept the ball in play. High he comes back towards the half-forward line. A good mark being taken there by Abernathy. Flew high over Cop. Now called play on, so it wasn't a mark. Heinrich with the ball high into the forward zone. Underneath that one, Wilmot. Wilmot got hands to ball, couldn't mark it. Now Klomp with good, strong body work. It's going to be a vigorous game today. And yet again, the umpire has the ball up.
Again, Wilmot kicked 7 goals last week. 7 goal 4 or 5, in fact. Could have easily been 10. Kitschke with the tap. Punched on again. Boyd over the top of that. Ginniver comes in. The free kick's been picked out. And that'll go the way of Greg Boyd. And the umpire sorting out a few frees early in this game. It's a short pass by Boyd, and it finds Hines. David Hines plays on quickly. This Port Adelaide side looking to play on at all costs. Harrison out wide. Big spoil by Whittlesea in game 150 today, and he appears to have the job on O'Brien.
Well, he does, Kim, but I think what he's doing in actual fact is ruck roving with Darryl Smith out of the back pocket.
Big Reynolds. Goes to Phelps. Ball comes down, taken by Field. Now on to McCarthy. Wobbly left foot kick. Smothered there by Russell. Picked up by Plomb. Has time to steady. Now pushes out a pass looking for Wilmot. Missed his mark. Wilmot got hands to ball. Springer in there. Delaney, in fact. Moskeni. Now the Bulls run over the line.
David Hutton running the ball across the line. The umpire has no alternative but to throw it back into play. Reynolds goes at it again with Lum. You've got to push in the back as he went for the ball, Reynolds. He's won himself a free kick. Good battle of the young ruckman today. A good test. Reynolds wastes no time. Plays on quickly. Into the full forward position he goes. Underneath that one-hand Benson. He was held when going for the mark and he's won himself a free kick. Matt Benson certainly has been an improved player this season. He started the year at full forward. He went to a wing and now playing half forward. Benson, only one goal last week. Lines them up deliberately. Point blank range, the angle only slight, right through the middle, so scores locked away at the 5-minute mark of this first quarter at Port Adelaide.
Well, an encouraging start to the game by both sides. Free kick given to Benson. He was held out. He's been a much improved player in recent weeks, Matt Benson. Very strongly built lad. One goal apiece. We played 6.5 minutes of this first quarter.
Real test today for both sides. Sturt finding a little bit of form last week. Port Adelaide, after good early season form, struggling. Lum got the tap down. Painter punched the ball forward. Now an opportunity for Russell for the double blues. A wobbly kick into the forward zone. Phillip sets after it with pace. He overran the ball. Now an opportunity to gather it up. Push it back to Anderson. Runs backward and boots the ball still 45 metres forward. Phelps underneath that one. Abernathy almost the crumbs. McCarthy for the double blues out to walk. Over the top of the ball. He thumps it forward. Russell clean bowl. Anderson again. Good work, Anderson. Into the forward zone they go. Good shepherd by O'Brien, and Tyler has the mark. Tyler quickly through the forward zone, looking for Smith. He was pushed in the back. No free kick. Reid was the offender. The umpire's letting play go. O'Brien and Heinrich desperately. O'Brien taps the ball back. Originally looking for Harrison. Belton over the top of the ball. And now a ball up. Plenty of desperation in that passage of play as both sides showing good control. And Schramm has the bounce. 35 metres around from the Port Adelaide goals. Smith in ruck. Couldn't get the ball down. Belton now tries to feed it out. He can't. And yet again another ball up.
Ideal conditions at Alberton Oval. Crowd of between 8,000 to 10,000 people. Sun shining. The turf looks in magnificent condition. The scores are locked away. What more could you ask for? All out of bounds. Only about 45 metres around from the Port Adelaide goal. Abernathy kicked their first goal. It was Benson who replied for the Blues. Big thump away there, told by Curtis. Quick handball. Now it's Abernathy again on the left boot. The snapshot. He's kicked his second. Well, the 8-minute mark of this first quarter, Abernathy's posted his second goal. So the Magpies move on to 2 goals, 12 points. The double Blues, 1 goal, 6.
Oh, and Bruce Abernathy was named today at half-back flank. He's certainly not playing in that position. I'd suggest that he's ruck-roving off that half-forward flank. Certainly a couple of damaging pieces of play has kept Port Adelaide in control. They have the upper hand. 2 goals, Port Adelaide, Sturt, 1 straight goal.
And young rookie Leo Darvanese has the awesome task of picking up Abernathy while resting on that half-forward line. Big Lunn for the ruck. In fact, it was Lunn. Now the ball stolen. Field in there. Taken again by Field. That attack was squashed. Under that, Curtis tapped it forward. Stolen by Heinrich. Eventually gets a clearing kick away. Now out there leading in the chase is Harvey. Kept the ball in front of himself well. Now clears with the left boot. Up there, McCarthy went the big spoil away. He's gained valuable meterage, but out there is Anderson. Anderson 2 on to 1. He got the handball back towards Geneva. Whittlesey front onto the ball. Quick handball. Great running play over to Painter. Painter's long handball, an educated handball out towards Benson. Benson drives in long. Wilmot there. So too is Hines. Stolen by Wilmot. Touch of the fumbles. And a crude tackle to finish that passage of play. Sees the free kick go to young Colin Bald.
Yes, Wilmot in his desperation lunged at Bald, but in doing so, pushed him fair in the back. Bald playing in the back pocket today, drives long. No one home for Port Adelaide. Kitchke to mark for the double blues. Now he had the ball thumped out of his hands, or pushed out of his hands as he went back. The umpire has seen it. And a 15-metre penalty has now been applied. He decides not to use it. Out on the lead was Moskeny. Moskeny has the mark about 35 metres out. Hugging the boundary line. Confidence high, Moskeny. He's a confidence player. 3 goals last week. Roving today. He's opened the game in fine style, and that kick's a beauty right through the middle. That's Moskeny's first. The double blues. Lock scores away here at the 9-minute mark of the first quarter.
Oh, yet to see a minor score. Moskeny certainly is, or he has made a niche for himself in this Sturt side. He's been around the place for a couple of years now, but he's got some good skills. He's got electrifying pace and a very accurate kick. 2 goals apiece, and we've had 11 minutes in this first quarter.
Both sides playing like they believe they can win this. Port Adelaide, although they're fourth, they've only won 4 games. Sturt's ninth with 3 victories, so crucial game for both sides today. Opportunity now for Ginniver. He has the ball, drives forward. O'Brien's there. He does a beautiful shepherd, allows Smith the opportunity to handball inboard. Picking the ball up was Belton, off in turn to Abernathy. Abernathy lines up the goals. He's offline. 2 goals, 1 to Abernathy. In fact, I said earlier Port have only won 4, but they have in fact won 5. Not much separates the side. We're just over halfway mark in the league season.
Reid found Whittlesey. Game 150 for Whittlesey. Fine effort. Only 23 years of age, and he's had some injury. Russell gets a chance to use his pace, but he's run down by Greg Boyd. Oh, brilliant tackle. Lack of talking there. Definite lack of talking. Russell wasn't flat out. He didn't know the Boyd was there. Great tackle, Greg Boyd. Abernathy's causing havoc in the forward line. The floating kick. Smith back there. Great body work, Reid. Desperate work, Reid. Players dive on top. Gee, there's going to be some great clashes today. Contrasting styles in the middle. Curtis opposed to Painter. Painter, smooth, free-flowing running player. Curtis, hard, tough as nails, the bottom of packs. Now the ball down to Heinrich. Oh, had plenty of time. The kick was smothered, though. Anderson weaves his way out. That's holding the ball. Play on the goal. Gee, had a ton of time. Darryl Schramm was the man of the scene.
Well, I think, Kim, on that occasion when you've had the opportunity of disposing of the ball and you don't, it has to be holding the ball.
Yes, obviously Schramm unsighted there. Ball tapped down there by Phelps. Phelps sharing the ruck work today with Lum.
And Kim, I noticed already there's been a change. Merv Kane has placed Andrew Underwood onto Abernathy, who's dominated the early part of this quarter.
Well, Underwood's been in fine touch this season. And while still only played a handful of games, he's got a lot more experience than Darbanese. And that one's holding the ball.
Well, he didn't take control, Kim. That's very harsh on that player.
Well, a contrast in decisions. Oh, now there's another holding ball decision the other way.
Well, I can guarantee you before too long there's going to be fights. Schramm's indifferent umpiring. It's certainly got to be consistent. Players will get frustrated. Abernathy deep into the forward zone. Smith held when not near, and he's won himself a free kick. Well, they've let a couple go, and there's a few ticky touchwoods. I think that one was certainly there. Darren Smith started the season in fine form. In fact, he's now 4th on the league goal-kicking ladder, 35 goals for the season. Last week he kicked only 1 point. He couldn't find the ball. In fact, to be quite brutal, the ball found him on that occasion. Lines him up, point-blank range, pops it through. 3 goals, 1. Port Adelaide, the double blues are 2 straight goals.
Well, some extremely interesting decisions there. 3 of them, in fact. The bottom line is that Darren Smith has posted his first goal for 2 weeks. And it's Port Adelaide on 3-1, Sturt 2 goals. One gets the feeling this game could be an absolute beauty.
Already we're seeing the start of what should be a great game. Darren Smith 1 goal, he's first for a couple of weeks. Bruce Abernathy with 2 goals on the board. The scorers for Port Adelaide, Matt Benson and Moskeny. the scorers for the double blues. There's a free kick being picked out here. It's going downfield. Russell is with the free kick. In fact, Benson will go to pick up the ball. Whatever breeze there is at Alberton Oval will certainly be at the back of Matt Benson. He's a magnificent kick. He drives that one deep into the forward zone. Underneath that one, Phillips for Port Adelaide couldn't take the mark. Diving on it strongly was Wilmot. Yet again another ball up, and it's indicative of the desperation of both sides. But we've seen many ball ups already, and we've only had 15 minutes into the first quarter. Schramm again puts the ball to ground. Reynolds. Lum got the tap, however. A skinny backwards, looking for Klomp. He applied a strong tackle. Phillips over the top. Hutton on the left boot. Short. Painter couldn't take the mark. Now Smith, the double blues. Towards centre half forward. He placed it beautifully. Klomp couldn't quite gather in the ball. Now Benson an opportunity. He can't break through a cluster of magpies. Greg Boyd throws it out wide. John Harvey under pressure. Good desperate play. Scott Field over the top of that one. And finally diving on it to enforce the ball up on that occasion was David Hines. So both sides very desperate early in this first term.
16 minutes gone, 19 plays 12. The Magpies with a 7-point advantage. Big fist away by Lum. Now the ball in there. Handball out by Walk. High tackle, and the free kick will go the way of John Harvey. He's played on quickly. Once again, it's Abernethy driving his side into attack. The big spoil there by Curtis through like a Bondi tram. Whittlesey there. Over the shoulder, play on the goal. Now the handball back towards to McCarthy. McCarthy clears to that outer side, but Anderson's out there.
Well, Kim, they've given a free kick downfield. He tackled McCarthy O'Brien as he kicked the ball. There was nothing after that. The free kick's for a free after disposal.
Oh, I missed that. I was watching the ball, but on screen there is Stephen Curtis, and he's in a lot of pain. By crikey, he went through hard. He is a fearless person, Steve Curtis. Gets him into trouble at time, too courageous. Now Klomp, too slow to get the kick away. He was quickly tackled, balled in there. Now the handball back out towards Heinrich. Reynolds trying to get it to Painter. The big chap still got his body over the ball, taken by Whittlesey. Painter in there again. A little kick away, went about 5 metres. Now Russell with a handball. This is desperate stuff out there. It's pretty hard to get a kick or handball with any effectiveness. Now Abernethy shows a clean pair of heels. 2 bouncers, 3 bouncers, and great tackle. Tremendous pressure, David Walker. Smith now over the top to Moschini. What a chase. And back to Wilmot. Have a look at that. Oh, magnificent play. Delaney's carrying on like a pork chop. And he will be penalised 15 metres for a ridiculous passage of play. Wilmot had taken the mark. Now he's kicked the goal. You can put that goal down to Walk. Young David Walk, one of the most inspired pieces of chasing I've ever seen. Abernethy thought he was clear. He had taken about 4 bounces. Walk never gave up. Dragged him to the ground. And that resulted in a magnificent goal to the Sturt side.
Sturt now advanced to 3 straight goals, 18 points, only 1 point behind the Maggies. 3 goals, 119. There's nothing in this game. Ball coming back to centre field. Doing the ruck work will be Lum, opposed to Kitschke. Kitschke now having a run on the ball. Umpires have taken their time to get the ball back. That's the way it goes. We've had just on 18 minutes into this first quarter at Alberton Oval. The game already turning out to be a beauty. As the ball is bounced at centre, Phelps goes at it. He got the tap. Forward it goes. Curtis looks all right now. Kitschke over the top. Now Belton forward. Desperation from Darvanese on that occasion. Forces the ball forward. Spins out of trouble to Painter. Wider still to Underwood. On the left boot he goes long. Over the head of a Packer player. Harvey was first there. Couldn't control it. Now Field. Ground's a little bit slippery out there wide. A little wet underfoot. Field taps the ball forward. Balled with the handball. Now Benson for the double blues. Chips around the body, Abernethy. Strong mark. Under plenty of pressure from Whittlesey. They're direct opponents at the moment. Both ruck roving. Abernethy certainly enjoying today's game. The kick is a long one towards centre half forward. Underneath that one Phelps couldn't take the mark. Now Harrison comes out with the ball, holding the ball, surely, finally. Well, the umpire certainly took a long time to make up his mind on that occasion.
And missed the play on advantage. The ball back now to Russell. Russell drives long to centre-half forward, but that's misdirected. That has gone straight to big Craig Lum. Taken by Ball. Colin Ball kicks out wide. Phillips is out there, has a fumble. 2 fumbles. Plot not chasing. Plot just standing there.
I think he's injured.
I think he is injured. He's about to walk off. He can't run. It may be a hamstring. Phelps in there. Got the kick away. Has he kept it in play? No, he hasn't.
And you're absolutely right, Kemp. Robert Klopp has just walked off, clutching his hamstring, so that's bad news for the Double Blues. Certainly his vigor will be missed at centre-half forward as Eddie Fry comes on. In fact, Klump is heading straight up the race.
Big challenge for Eddie Fry. I think he thrives on these type of situations. Played game 150 for Sturt last week. Straight into the play he was. Kicked 2 goals. He'll certainly take this challenge. It's been thrown down to him now. Centre-half forward. He's played a lot of football there. Greg Phillips wearing him very closely. Kitsky with a tap down towards Smith. Had about 30 touches last week out of the back pocket. Now Fry. Oh, yes, he nearly took the mark. Play on the call. He got the handball. There to walk. Now the ball back towards Whittlesey. Stolen by Big Lum. And there was Belton. Too slow. Heinrich. Anderson. And Anderson wins a free kick for being tricked. Has to prove his fitness. He wants to play on that side in Perth next week. The ball out towards Smith, and he's taken the mark. Well, there's no disputing that. Darren Smith kicked his first goal for the game at the 14-minute mark. He received the free kick. He definitely earned that one. Good mark. Currently has 36 goals, 18 for the season. Chance to post his 37. That one has gone away to the right. Port Adelaide, 3 goals, 2. Sturt, 3 straight goals.
Good straight kicking by the Double Blues. As Reid brings the ball back into play, elects to go towards the outer side. Underneath that one, Whittlesey. Whittlesey has the mark. He'll play on quickly. That he does. Cleverly smothered on that occasion by Belton. Now Underwood taps the ball forward. Good play. Walk. Tackled too high. Courageous bit of chasing earlier by Walk. Set up a magnificent goal to Ian Wilmot. Wide they go, the Double Blues. Skenny lost sight of that one, bursting his way through as Phillips playing a great game at centre half back. Perhaps the big fellow's back in the position he likes best. Now Moskeny from Fry. Forward. Benson plays on, under pressure from Harvey. Towards full forward, coming out underneath that one, Wilmot. He couldn't take the mark. Now Ball hands it off. He was looking for Hines. He couldn't gather in the ball. Scott Field tackles the ball. Greg Boyd tackles Scott Field. Michael Abbott will have a bounce. We've had just on 21, in fact 22 and a half minutes into the first quarter. That comes down. Smith tried to chip it away. Over the top, Heinrich was tackled high, but holding the ball. The umpire said he ducked. That was a good decision. And Harrison has the free kick for the Magpies. He'll come grandstand side. Underneath that one, Phelps. Did that beautifully, Phelps. He took the pack away and allowed Curtis the opportunity to run through. Half forward, and now Smith. That was set up beautifully by Big Jeff Phelps. He took the pack out, and Curtis had the run of the ball.
And they're leaving the forward line open. Plenty of room for Darren Smith to lead then. There was nothing Reid could do about that.
1 goal, 1, Darren Smith. An absolute star in the first portion of the season. His kicking today, however, is not on target. That one well off to the left, 2 for 1 behind.
24 minutes gone. 21 plays 18. Reid to bring the ball back into play. Woodall sees his target. Oh, he edged out O'Brien very well. Now plays on quickly to Darryl Smith. Darryl Smith has time to recover. Gets around Phillips. Or pushes out a pass that was directed towards the trainer. It was closer to the trainer than Wilmot. He couldn't keep it. And Wilmot and Delaney...
Certainly be no love lost between those two, Kim.
No, they're certainly getting underneath each other's skins. And I would suggest that Delaney will wear him like a glove.
Ball back into play. Lum got the tap down. Forward it goes. Ginniver set off underneath it. He couldn't keep the ball in play, however, the ball has beaten him across the line. We're now just on time on with the first quarter. 21 plays 18, there's only 3 points the margin. Kitchke and Ruck versus Lum. Kitchke got the tap, he backhanded it towards centre field. Heinrich ducked, he was tackled, he threw away the ball with a handball. Now he thumps it towards the line. A little lucky on that occasion not to give away a free kick. And yet again, the boundary umpire will bring the ball back into play.
Kitchke opposed to Lum. Phillips at the back of the pack. Decides to stay on the ground. Lum uses his body and gets that ball down to Anderson. He's dispossessed. Taken by Heinrich again. Back to Moschini. Moschini in turn on to Underwood. Benson's trying to lead. He's being held by Harvey. The umpire was too far away to see that infringement. Now the ball back out to Ball. He's well tackled. Phillips in there, back turns, gets a clearing left foot kick away, and Smith back there takes a fine mark. Plays on quickly, Walk provides the Shepherd. Smith can go all the way home, drives in a long ball, back there is Wilmot. It's offline and a minor score. There's certainly some tight checking going on back in the Sturt forward line. Port Adelaide 3-3, Sturt 3-1.
Yes, there certainly is. The Port Adelaide defence have no compunction about holding the man as they're going for the ball, and fortunately for them, the umpire was too far away to see it. Benson was held strongly. Heinrich doesn't like the tackle there. Be careful when you kick your feet up like that.
You did right.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of players suspended for a few weeks for doing that. Not good form. Reynolds at centre-half forward. Dumps the ball long. That's the way to go for the Double Blues. Underneath that one at the front, it was Lum. He couldn't take it. Delaney off in turn to Ginniver. In turn, Harrison. Ball. So they're moving out of defence. Port Adelaide has been quite good. Now Ginniver again following up. Wide he goes. Anderson underneath that one with courage. Well played. Handball shot forward quickly. Underneath that one, Phelps. Under pressure, the kick went forward. Belton tapped it forward looking for Phelps, but the line's the winner on that occasion. The boundary umpire yet again will have a throw in.
Certainly has built himself up, Greg Anderson. Exceptionally strong man. Phelps, taken by Ginniver. Kick went about 4 metres. Whittlesey. Back to McCarthy. Underrated player, McCarthy. Painter. Ball bounces backwards. Oh, great play. Boyd onto Ginniver. Back to Anderson. He's on his left boot. He centres the ball well. Heinrich back there. Spoils away from Harrison. Now the crumbs are picked up by Eye. Let's see if he can use this ball. His target is Eddie Fry. Phillips with the spoil. Fry kept his feet, but it's Painter who recovers first. John Painter not sure which way to go. And Painter really couldn't see anywhere to kick that ball. That's one of the rare occasions that John Painter does not find his mark. Colin Bald drives long, and it's another misdirected kick. Over to Field. Field's handball's misdirected. Players placing pressure on themselves as Abernathy drives long. Darvanese there. Taps the ball forward. David Eye again. He's had a pretty good season in that back pocket. Under a lot of pressure. Darvanese lends support. Now the handball. Back towards Field. Strong body work. Underwood to Darvanese. Blues should get out of trouble, just. Wobbly kick forward.
Now Darvanese behind play. Kim has been pushed after he disposed of that kick, so the free kick will go downfield.
Kick goes in long. Back there is Kitchke. Stolen by Fry. Tried to get a handball. Oh, held on the ball magnificently. Snapshot just offline. Minor score. 3-2 plays 3-3. We've had 29 minutes of this first quarter.
Goodness me, the Magpies today, they wouldn't give away a sniff of their pasty. Been very desperate in defence. In fact, so too of the Double Blues defence. There's only 6 goals been scored in a quarter of football, so a battle of defence is looming. Wide to Anderson goes the ball. Anderson's up. Mark couldn't be taken there by David Hutton. Now Delina forces the ball across the line. Kim, I was going to say, both defences have been very, very tight.
Extremely tight. And as I mentioned earlier, Port Adelaide have certainly received plenty of press this week, and they normally respond with a pretty aggressive style of football. There's the Great quarter of football. Port Adelaide leading on 3-3, 21. Sturt 3-1. In fact, that should be, yes, 3-1, 19.
Start of the second term at Alberton Oval. It's Port Adelaide fourth on the ladder versus the Double Blues ninth, and there's only 2 points in it at the quarter-time break. Lum got the big thump forward for Port Adelaide. He's done a good job in ruck today. Ginnivan couldn't quite control that ball. Now Greg Boyd an opportunity. The ball was held to him. Holding the ball, said the umpire. Well, there's been some unusual decisions in the first term, and I suspect that we're likely to see some the second term also. David Walk, who chased so brilliantly in the first term to set up a magnificent goal for the Double Blues. Now there's a free kick picked out just out of the goal square.
Well, we mentioned in that first quarter there was a lot of holding on going on in that forward area for Sturt. The Port defence just seemed to be grabbing their opponents and not enabling them to lead. And that's what's happened to Kitski.
Kitski goals, that's his first. The Double Blues fourth. Now they now take the lead. 4 goals, 1. 25 points Sturt. Port Adelaide 3 goals, 3, 21. And you called that well, Kim. In the first quarter, we saw Port Adelaide defenders holding the Double Blues forwards. There were no free kicks forthcoming. Obviously now the umpires are picking them up.
Yes, well, they were certainly in the correct position then. A bit further down the ground than what we saw in the first quarter. Ball one pace 3-3. The Blues with a 4-point advantage. Delina's onto the ground. Eddie Fry still at centre-half forward after Klopp leaving the ground with a hamstring injury. Ball tapped forward. Over the top of that is Abernethy. He was a star in the first quarter. Be Michael Abbott to bounce. 2 minutes gone. Reynolds front position. Lum over the top. Delina in there, taken by Underwood. His long kick. Ball sitting up in these damp conditions. Ground a little bit spongy. Over the top of that is Field. He's an improved player. He's in a lot of trouble. Holding the ball. Now that's a play on advantage. That's a better decision by Schramm as the ball is pushed out wide to Tyler. Tyner, promising young player, drives the ball back towards centre-half forward. And the timely mark's been taken by big Reynolds.
Well, there were 3 Double Blues players on Smith at that occasion. Reynolds was one, Reid was the other. Back there in defence, I think the other was I. Now an opportunity for McCarthy out of defence. He goes short, looking for Smith. Smith couldn't quite take the mark. In fact, it was touched off the boot. Darvaniza. Back, I got the handball wide. Bursting through the pack on that occasion was Phelps. Now Tyler, off to Harrison. Harrison to Abernathy. Intercepting on that occasion, however, was John Belton. Forward he goes, not well put. Reid, the vigorous defender, comes wide. Greg Boyd flew high but couldn't mark. This way, that way. Ran himself into trouble in the finish. Ginnivan, the handball to Lum. Lum in turn to Curtis, playing at centre field. The handball over the top, looked for Boyd. Boyd in turn gets the handball on. Abernathy on the left boot, goes goalward bound. Oh, it's come around. He's got it, Abernathy. That's his third. 3 great goals for Abernathy and none better than that one at the 2nd-minute mark of the second quarter.
Well, the scribes have said that Abernathy is back in form, and he certainly is, and what we've seen today, 3 goals. He's been everywhere, running on the ball, resting on a half-forward flank. He has looked super dangerous. Kicks extremely well with either foot. And he's the bogeyman for the Blues at the moment.
Abernathy with 3 goals. They started Darvaniza on him. Underwood got shifted early. He's ruck-roving Aber, and he's doing it well. Smith forward for the Double Blues. Underneath that one, Benson, he was held. He didn't take control of the ball. Phillips over the top. Strong running play from David Hutton out of defence. Underneath that one, Abernathy again. So he's everywhere, this man. Plenty of spring in his step too. It's a beautiful kick through half forward. McCarthy got the thump away, but in doing so he's infringed. Given away a free kick for being in the back of his opponent. Back it was Lum. Smith. Couldn't control it now. Whittlesey tackled strongly by Curtis. And not in possession. Play on called the umpire. Now to Painter. Painter will go short, grandstand side. Heinrich playing at centre wing on Harrison. Been a good battle already. Forward. Good calling by Moskeny. Allowed Benson to drop off that one. Moskeny at left half forward. He'll go long to goals. In fact, now he looks for the lead. Phillips read that well. Intercepted in front of Wilmot. Now the handball wide. Lum in defence. To Anderson. Well put. Anderson certainly is a very strong, vigorous body player now. He's built up well. Abernathy and Underwood. Underwood's been one of the double blues' better players this season. Forward to Fry. Too much pace for Phillips.
Well, Lum's dropping back in defence, causing problems for Wilmot. Yes, Wilmot having the lead deep into the pockets, David.
I think that's good tactical play by Russell Evertkim. Certainly Lum just cutting off that leading ability of Wilmot.
All out of play in the right forward pocket for Sturt. Only about 30 metres round from their goal. Kitsky front position. Lum ran in underneath the ball nicely. Stolen by Field. Left foot snap. He's offline. Getting back there is Benson. It takes the mark. Only inches in from the boundary line. He kicks Sturt's first goal. He's brought around by the umpire. He's a right foot kick. Normally a pretty good kick. Tends to punch the ball and keep it fairly low. I would suggest he'll try and open up the face of goal. Just slightly. He dropped that one. Awful. Oh, terrible. Ball close to the boundary line. Made a liar out of me. Normally a much better kick than that. Now the ball's taken by Abernathy again. He's running amok. Doing as he pleases. Back to his brilliant best. Curtis in the middle. Now the ball out towards Tyler. Belton wants it in the pocket. That's where the ball is dispatched. Over the head of Belton. Tucked away in the pocket. Tries to centre it. Back there is Reed. Has to contend with Phillips. Through the back door to Whittlesey. Now out to Painter, who's got an absolute panic all the time in the world to drive the ball down in the direction of Fry. Beautiful kick.
Well, Greg Phillips is not within 50 metres of Eddie Fry.
Now Fry centres the ball towards Walk. So the Blues setting up the loose man well, but they're just breaking down here across board. Now they've had to go out wide to Fry again. Well spoiled by Ball. Well, those last three kicks gained about 20 metres. And Eddie Fry not happy with himself.
Well, he knew he had that mark. Ball made plenty of ground to do the spoiling work. Phillips over the top. Phillips opened the game well against Klomp. Since Fry's come on, he just hasn't got the pace. Kick was smothered from Underwood. Boyd couldn't control it. Now Delena. Return to Smith. Double Blues are running. Danger. Kitsky high. Couldn't take the mark. Now Benson, left foot snap. It's going goal with Bound. Bounces right through Benson's second goal, and the Double Blues have set that one up beautifully. They now go to 5 goals 1, leading Port Adelaide 4 goals 3.
Well, Matt Benson has certainly proved his worth for this third side. Fine pair of hands, just showing that he's quite capable on the ground there as he drummed that ball exceptionally well to bank through his second goal. Gee, there's been nothing in this game from the very start. 5-1 plays 4-3. The Blues with a 4-point advantage.
Nothing in this game. 4 points, certainly a slender lead to the Double Blues as the lead zigzags. Painter wide, looking for Moskeny. Great player last week with pace. Hutton's there in support. And the ball has gone across the line. In fact, David Hutton did very well to run Moskeny down on that occasion. Right half forward for the Double Blues, attacking zone. We've had just on 8 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, we saw Hutton in the Footy Olympics, and he's certainly not light on for pace. Possesses quite a deal of pace. Phillips, quick handball. Out towards Hines. Hines clears with a long raking kick. It's a fine mark to Piarchi, being harassed by Eye. Spears out a pass, and the mark's been taken by O'Brien. Very good mark, Michael O'Brien. Reliable kick. Well, on its way, looks pretty good. He's popped through his first, so it's Port Adelaide with a quick reply. They're now on 5-3. They've taken back the lead. Sturt 5-1. We've had 9 minutes of this second quarter.
Michael O'Brien's spent a great deal of time last week on the wing. Now playing in that forward pocket, has got his first for the day. That'll give him a little bit of confidence too. He can play that position. He only has 8 goals, in fact 9 goals for the season, so from a forward pocket specialist, he needs more.
Centre field, Reynolds opposed to Lum again. Lum with the second tap. Taken by Phelps, weaves his way through. Back to Abernathy. Something has to be done about this man as far as Sturt's concerned, and his kick has been dropped by O'Brien. The ball centred by Harrison. It's high, curving ball. Reid with the fist away. Stolen by Jennifer. Quick snap shot. It's true. Well, through the middle. Great snap to the little rover. Great goal, Tim Jennifer. That's his first. So 2 quick goals to Port Adelaide. See them move on to 6 goals, 3. Leading Sturt 5-1.
The Double Blues now need a quick reply. That was a great Rovers goal to Tim Jennifer at the bottom of the pack. The ball was put to the point of the goal square looking for Darren Smith. He couldn't take the mark. Jennifer read the play better. Picked up the crumbs and on that left boot was able to snap through a beauty. That gives Port Adelaide a little bit of breathing space. They now lead by 8 points.
We're just looking at this Sturt side. I don't like the way they're lined up at the moment with Smith and Whittlesey changing out of the back pocket. They're not getting any rest whatsoever, and once they have to contend with Abernathy on the ball. Then when they rest in the back pocket, they have to put up with Michael O'Brien. It's going to be a long day. Delena in there. Phillips over the top to John Harvey. Harvey, oh, that was thrown away. Umpire on the blind side. We'll have a throw in right in front of our commentary position.
The umpires have been on the blind side a couple of occasions today. Ball comes back into play. Greg Phillips is there. He'll come over the top, surely. No, he elects not to. Leaves the ruck work to Lum. He got it down to Bald, who was tackled high. Kick went forward. McCarthy couldn't quite control it. Now comes through strongly. Harrison with the body. Out the back door. Whittlesey. Russell. Tackled strongly on that occasion by Abernathy. Now Piarchi onto the oval. Left foot. Through centre half forward. Hines. Back Tyler. Oh, under pressure. David I did it very, very well. Tyler was under plenty of pressure and the ball has gone out of bounds on the full. 39 plays 31. Port Adelaide enjoying 8-point lead as Daryl Smith with the free kick brings the ball back along grandstand wing. Kitchke's there, so too McCarthy. Nobody can take the mark. Now Abernathy, been sensational today. Short. Darvanese with good body work. Jennifer tackled him strongly. Now a ball up. So plenty of desperation already shown in the first quarter, and a little bit of it coming back in this second quarter. Tim Jennifer just pats Whittlesey on the back, appreciating the contest. Now Underwood out to Painter. Painter goes towards the boundary line. Whittles, in fact, Fry was the man he was aiming at. Now Delena comes out. Back in turn. Russell to Heinrich, pushed across the line, out of play. Phil Harrison just showing a little bit of aggression there.
Yes, they've been at each other's throats, Heinrich and Harrison. No love lost there. Kitski takes front position. This time Phillips comes over the top. Russell couldn't get a kick away again. Piarchi smothered by Heinrich. Tight game.
Yes, we're used to seeing Heinrich play in a back pocket or a half-back flank, but he's certainly making a fist of that centre wing position.
He's got a little bit of aggression. Certainly plays with a lot of enthusiasm. Kitski, Phelps, this time Abernathy with a big thump. Down towards Wharf, he's taken out of it. A nice hip and shoulder by Curtis. Now Boyd spears out a pass. He's off. Smith with an uneducated leap. And the free kick will go the way of Michael O'Brien. Well, I hate to say I told you so. I don't think Daryl Smith is the man. He's back there standing on O'Brien. And again, it's easy from here as O'Brien lines up for his second. He's off target this time. No, he's not. It's through for a second one. It's faded away late. Just managed to stay inside the post. So Port Adelaide move on to 7-3-41. Leading Sturt 5 goals, 1.
We've had just on 14 minutes for this second term, and I think you're right, Kim. The ruck rovers for the Double Blues are resting in that back pocket. Whittlesey now is having a rest, but Darryl Smith was the offender earlier. They have a run on the ball, and then they go back there for a rest, and they've got to pick up Michael O'Brien, and perhaps Merv Kane needs to have a look at that.
Back in the centre, Lum opposed to Kitski. Lum won the tap. He's doing a good job. Underrated player. Painter with the quick feed. Missed his target. Curtis in there. Handball towards Phelps. He's tackled. Biaggi's given some bite around the packs. Drives that one in looking for Smith. In there's O'Brien again. This time in front of Whittlesey. Let's see if that Sturt runner comes out now. O'Brien has kicked 2 goals in this second quarter. The Maggies have kicked 7-3. Make that 7-4. Just touched on the line. Great defensive play by Peter Reid.
Yes, an underrated defender, Peter Reid. Saw him do a great job last week on Rudy Mandermaker. In fact, he took Big Rudy out of the game. Now the long kick. He was looking for Kitski. Thump came high. Lum settles off after the ball. He ran into a pack of players. The kick went only as far as his opposition player in Kitski. Kitski has Heinrich on the boundary line, free, elects to go long. Fry, the fly from behind, he's pushed Phillips in the back surely. Michael Abbott, good decision. Play on now, Ginniver. Changes direction. Coming out underneath that one is O'Brien. O'Brien, the handball back to Ginniver. Playing around a little bit at the moment, the Magpies. They might pay the price, they don't. Curtis is good enough to get it to O'Brien. In turn gets it to Harrison, who can blast away at goals. That's exactly what he did. He had a blast. Offline, 1 behind. Port Adelaide, 7 goals, 5. Sturt, 5 goals, 1.
20-minute mark of this second quarter. 15-minute mark, in fact. As the ball's driven out by Reid. McCarthy, scored away by Lum. Stolen there by Tyler. And that's a great pass out to Smith. Smith wants to play on quickly. Drives it into the square, and that's why. Oh, Biaggi left completely unattended. Loose checking the Double Blues. Intelligent football by Darren Smith. And Biaggi causing some problems. He's like a little mozzie around the ground at the moment. He's zapping his Sturt opponents everywhere. Port Adelaide, 8 goals, 5. The Blues, 5-1. Port Adelaide had 5 goals this term. The Double Blues only have 2. There was only 2 points in it at quarter time, but now Port Adelaide enjoying a very handy 22-point lead. Their problem is across half forward. Eddie Fry is not controlling that position. Lum is dropping down into defence to play that loose man in defence, and the Double Blues can't get through half forward. Lum opposed to Kitski again in the centre. Michael Abbott bounces the ball. It's Lum with the tap, taken by Genevieve. Threw that ball away. Michael Abbott was right on the spot. The Blues play on quickly. Underwood over to Heinrich. Heinrich to Painter. Running himself into a spot of bother. Now eventually the ball comes out to Underwood. He's got a bit of breathing space. He's had 2 bounces. He can have a shot for goal. Well, he had time to steady. He was within range. No accuracy whatsoever. A minor score. The Blues 5-2. Port 8-5. Underwood is certainly a very strong rebounding player. He had plenty of time to straighten up. That could have been a goal. That's what the Double Blues need. They need some run off their half-back line to drive that ball over their half-forward. Benson thumped the ball away from Harvey. Now Heinrich to Smith. Long. Wilmot's on the lead in front of Delaney. Wilmot's got it. Well, that's the first time they've placed the ball well for him. Wilmot, 7 goals last week. It's only got 1 today. Opened the game well. That was after a magnificent bit of play at the 17-minute mark of the first term by Walk to run down Abernathy. Wilmot lines up for goal number 2. His kicking confidence is high. That one's a good kick. 2 goals to Wilmot. They need their full forward firing, the Double Blues, but they need to get across half forward. Well, the Blues just hanging in there after Port Adelaide kicked 5 goals in about 6 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes. Port Adelaide come back with a reply, so they're in touch. It's a 6-2 to 8-5. And they've got to get that ball down a little more often than what they have to Wilmot.
Back at centre, Ginniver takes the ball from the bounce. High, Heinrich's underneath that one. Curtis knocked the ball away. He went down with a knee injury early in the first quarter, but you can't stop this man. He's a Sherman tank. Just keeps going. You like to have 20 of those. A little bit short and ruck, I suppose, but gee, you'd have some courage. Ball comes back into play. Kitschke, opposed to Phelps. Neither player won the tap. Bottom of that pack was Smith. He couldn't get the ball clear, and now a ball up will take place. Had just on 19.5 minutes into the second quarter. 53 plays 38. Port Adelaide enjoying a 15-point advantage. Now Fiarchi, a little mozzie. Back to Anderson, who couldn't get the kick away. Whittlesey tried to burst his way out with the ball, couldn't. Now Ginniver, handballs in front of himself. Pressure from Delina forces him across the line, and now a throw in, well earned.
Well, last week Port Adelaide lost to Woodville by 54 points. Wasn't a good performance. By the same token, Curtis still performed with 16 kicks and 10 handballs last week, so it just indicates how hard he tries. And have a look at that. Oh, it's holding the ball, but he copped a nasty one. A little unfortunate. Back up on his feet.
Well, the umpires have missed a few of them, Kim, today.
Heinrich drives long. Benson up early. Phillips missed the mark. Skinny in there. Michael Abbott will bounce the ball. The left forward flank for the Double Blues. Kitschke opposed to Hines. Hines won the tap. It was a good tap straight down to Harvey. McCarthy in there. Ball punched away. Over the top of it is Phelps. Tries to weave his way through. Gets the ball back to Harrison. Oh, Underwood hurt his arm there, attempting to smother. Oh, there's a great one-hander there taken by Tyler. Tyler centres the ball well. Big spoil by Reid. Curtis in there. Tried to break his way through. Couldn't do so. Fiarchi. Back to Boyd. Boyd back to Darren Smith. Reid chases. Too late. Goal to Darren Smith. That's his second. And we could see it coming. Reid just couldn't make up the ground, and Darren Smith posts another goal. And once again, that man, George Fiarchi, was in the play.
Oh, yes, it started with Curtis. However, he burst his way through the pack beautifully. They set that up well. They were in a little bit of pressure. Boyd finally in turn to Fiarchi over the top. In fact, Smith could have had O'Brien in the goal square, another handball, but he elected to kick it. Goal number 2.
59 plays 38. Reynolds having a run on the ball. Opposed to Hines, also having a run on the ball. Port Adelaide making a few changes. Oh, great handball by Ginniver. Hines gets himself in a spot of bother. Now the ball comes out towards Phillips. Phillips has time to clear. It's a long kick. O'Brien front position, spoiled away from him. Picked up by Phelps. Here's another one for the Maggies. Oh, he's offline. Gee, that one left his boot like a shotgun.
Yes, it did. He stumbled as he went to kick it. He didn't quite have time to steady. Just offline, through for one behind. Phelps certainly giving them something to kick at centre-half forward. McCarthy's done a good job on him. In fact, it's been a couple of great duels. Reid on Darren Smith has been a good one. McCarthy and Phelps has also been a highlight. Reid comes grandstand side, looking for Reynolds. The big fellow's up. Hines thumps the ball down. Whittlesey forward. Peel will need to go hard at this one. Great mark taken by David Hutton. Good defensive work. Short, a little too short for mine. Walk, cut the ball forward. He was hit high. They've played the advantage now. Russell go into the goals. He lines them up. Just too short. Ball thumped away from Kitschke. Now Wilmot under pressure from Delaney. Out of bounds on the full. Well done, Roger Delaney.
Now, in fact, it was touched. Good pressure by Delaney. And David Walk copped a nasty one. He received a free kick, but there was a play on advantage, and he's definitely in a little bit of pain. Let's hope he's not too bad. Fiarchi again. Well, he's out to show the selectors he should have been in this side. Fisted away by Heinrich. Now Painter hooked that one back around his body out towards Russell. Harvey in there. Strong body work and receives the free kick. Well, he had to commit himself, and he didn't let his side down. And plays on quickly to Hines. Hines drives long. Walks coming off the ground. The host of trainers on the field. There's about 8 of them. Now the ball comes back out to Painter. Painter in turn to Underwood. reverses direction, kicks across ground, and if they don't gain possession here, they've gained absolutely nothing. Skenny eventually, pressure by Hutton. Indirect play by Sturt. Now they drive across the ground, and good mark taken by Kitsky. Ridden into the ground. Now Kitsky's not a bad kick.
There's a 15-metre penalty, Kim. I was going to say that's the shortest 15-metre penalty. Only brought him back on the mark, but now the 15-metre penalty's been applied, and that will bring Kitsky within 25 metres. He doesn't know he has it. He's about 30 metres away from the man on the mark.
Kitsky lines up, yet to kick a goal. In fact, he has one goal. He still only has one goal. Sturt move on to 6-3. Port Adelaide 9-6. Much to the delight of the Magpie supporters.
A little bit of inexperience there from Damien Kitsky. When he realised how far he had to go to the man on the mark, I think he took another couple of steps and didn't quite steady. Fiachi, plenty of bite around the packs. He's certainly given them something. Forward he goes. Underneath that one, Phelps couldn't take the mark. McCarthy was ridden into the ground. Now the ball comes out to Abernathy, a great player today. Darren Smith, full forward, thumped away by Reid. Well done. Curtis thumps it again forward. Now O'Brien over his head. Opportunity for Reid, the handball back, conceding ground. Heinrich long. Painter in turn to The Double Blues are running it out of defence well. Galena was clean bowled. Now he plays on quickly through half forward. The man he's looking for is Fry. He can't control the ball. Back there was Hines. His handball was not well put. Galena to full forward. Kitsky up. Lund the thump away. Now Delaney heads towards the boundary line. He had nowhere else to go. Will it trundle across the line? It does. Sigh of relief to Port Adelaide fans.
And Roger Delaney just grabbing his hamstring a little bit there, so let's hope that's not too serious. He's just grabbed it again. It's obviously causing him some problems. 9 goals kicked on him last week by Stephen Nichols. And at this stage, Wilmot has 2. Now Fiachi in there again, tackled by Field. We'll see out to Russell. A woeful kick by Russell, and it goes out of bounds, not quite on the full. And we saw last week, while Sturt were playing a better brand of football, they still missed some easy goals, and today they've had a few opportunities. They've let go begging as well.
They had Russell on that occasion, had Skenny running through centre, who would have had an easy shot at goal. Down it comes. Now Russell with desperation over the top of the ball. Ball got it out. He'll head towards the line. No, he tunnel balls it through. Little C to Fry. Short. Oh, it couldn't bounce through, could it? No, it doesn't. Roger Delaney comes out and intercepts. Forward. Painter used his body beautifully. Now Hutton off to Curtis. Curtis back to Harrison. It's good play. The Magpies are running. Harrison. Oh, he put that nowhere. Oh, there's a free kick over. It has to be. Geneva committed his body well. In fact, I was going to say he was about to be swamped by David Ide, but he put his body in beautifully and won himself a free kick.
David Ide had his eye on the ball, but he ran straight in the back of Geneva.
Couldn't see him. McCarthy thumps the ball forward. O'Brien tries to take control. Now Anderson, the left footer, chips the ball around. Smith is there. Play on, ball down, far. Painter. Magpie fans are not pleased. Painter has nowhere to go. Now elects to come grandstand side. Heinrich. Painter held the ball well until he could dispose of it to a player.
Well, a Sturt player ran straight in the back of Smith then, and he's winded him pretty badly. Lucky not to get a free. Scott Field picked that up very neatly. Now puts it out wide to Fry. Has he got the advantage in pace? He gets there first. Oh, Phillips in the back of him. That's a free kick. Port Adelaide supporters not happy, but there's definitely a free kick there. By the same token, there was one down the other end of the ground only moments ago. Eddie Fry drives in long. Oh, there's a million players back there. Hine with the spoil. Now Hutton punches to the safety of the boundary line. We've had 3 minutes of time on in this second quarter.
Robert Plonk warming up on the boundary line. We saw him go off in the first quarter. He went straight up the race with what appeared to be a severe hamstring injury, but now he's warming up. Tap came down. Delena spun himself out of trouble, tackled high. No free kick. In fact, that was very high. Phillips to Hutton, tackled by Fry, threw away the ball. Fry desperately. Holding the ball, surely. Well, they missed 2 before they got the third. They had to pay 1. Fiachi with the free kick. Left boot forward towards centre wing. Reynolds is there for the double blues. He got 2-3 grabs of that play. Uncalled the umpire. It was off hands. Nothing wrong with that. Underwood tackled. He tried to get out with the ball, Underwood. He couldn't quite do it. Delaney come in late. Delaney's actually heading towards the boundary line. So you're right, Kim. He has got a leg injury of some sort. Could be hamstring. Reynolds got the tap to Heinrich. Coming off the bench was Ebert. He applied the tackle. Heinrich couldn't have known he was there. Now playing it to Whittlesey. Whittlesey to full forward. Dropping back on it. There is Wilmot. He's up. He's got it. Oh, he's dropped it. Oh, it's a sitter. Now it's out of play. Well, he'll rue the day he dropped that one, Ian Wilmot.
Well, it was clear it should have been taken. Phelps has been given the job on Wilmot as the siren sounds to end a great quarter of football. A very good quarter for Port Adelaide as they kicked 6 goals in that quarter. And they're now 9 goals, 60 points to Sturt 6-3. A 6-goal second term to the Magpies. Now gives them a 21-point lead at the start of this third quarter. It's Big Lam opposed to Reynolds. Reynolds won the tap. Lum's done a great job today as the ball's kicked out there by Hutton. Craig Ebert's out there. So too is Darvin. He loses his footing and it's picked up by Curtis. Curtis pushes out a pass looking for Fiacci. Spoiled. Short kick away by Smith to Daryl Smith. Now to Painter tried to tap that forward. And eventually a free kick goes the way of Greg Boyd. Boyd plays on quickly. It's a wobbly kick back there. Fiacci, but it's Michael O'Brien. We kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. Could have easily been 3. Proved a real headache up forward in that second quarter. About 20 metres out. Directly in front. He pops it through. It's a good start to Port Adelaide. They take off where they left off. And that now places them on 10 goals, 6. And the Blues 6 goals, 3.
Yes, the Magpies now enjoy a 27-point lead. It was only 2 points at quarter time, but they did get away during that second quarter. Now Michael O'Brien running loose. They've changed David Eye onto him. They had Daryl Smith and Greg Whittlesey changing ruck rovers there, but they've now given him a permanent player.
Back in the centre, Reynolds opposed to Lum again. Lum conceding a few inches, but he still wins the tap. Out towards Ebert, taps the ball forward, taken by Jennifer. Short kick around his body. Fiacci punches the ball set towards the centre. There's a free kick given away. It'll go the way of Phelps. Jeff Phelps back into the side today. Drives long, looking for Darren Smith. It's Reid with the fist away. Anderson out there, harassed by Underwood, then centres the ball towards Harrison. Moskeni with the spoil. Kicked along the ground by Heinrich. Now the ball comes back to Harrison. He's well tackled by Moskeni. Tackled for too long. Moskeni says, what can I do? The free kick will go the way of Phil Harrison. Harrison centres the ball. Intelligent football. McCarthy, strong mark at the front of the pack.
Oh, and he did well there, Tony McCarthy. He certainly had the pack of Magpie forwards there. Real confidence to mark in that position. Heinrich pushed Harrison off the ball, took the mark and played on quickly. Through the outer wing he goes. Klomp underneath that one. The ball bounced over his head. Curtis with strong body work. He's done that well all day. Ball to Harvey, under pressure. Forward. Darvin for the double Blues. Wide to Smith. Daryl Smith drives long to open space. In fact, a little too long and a little too open. It beats Benson and John Harvey across the line. They've had a good battle today, Matt Benson and John Harvey. Reminds me a lot of Tony Giles, John Harvey, the way he plays that tight checking game. Of course, Tony Giles was a great Port Adelaide defender. Lum in ruck, 29, opposed to Kitschke, 3 for the double Blues. Kitschke lost his footing. Lum got the tap down to Jennifer. Jennifer accelerates and pushes the ball towards centre field. Heinrich there for the double Blues. The ball bounced off his chest. Allows Harrison sells the dummy with the handball well. Now feeds it to Anderson. Magpies are running. The kick is high. Looking for Smith, 2-on-1. Behind it was Reed. Tucked the ball away. Now Whittlesea for the Double Blues. Phelps comes in collision course. Smith tackled strongly by Abernathy. Ball up.
Well, a couple of costly ball handling errors there. Well, Smith holding up his arm there. Calling for the trainer. Reynolds up high. The Archie in there. So too is Heinrich, the man that dropped that chest mark. Wins himself a free kick and it plays on quickly. Out to McCarthy. McCarthy drives long to centre half forward. And there's a strong mark by Harvey. Play on the call. Phillips tries to paddle the ball out. In there, Delina. Hutton. Quick handball out to Ginniver. Ginniver drives out wide to the grandstand flank. Looking for Anderson. Anderson picks up the crumbs. Smashes a handball away. There's a Sturt player down. McCarthy picks up that ball again and now finds Muskeni.
Reed is the player that's down behind players. Muskeni drives the ball to Painter. That's not good news for the Double Blues. Reed holding his head. He doesn't look well. Painter short to centre. Underwood off the half-back line. Takes off. The handball goes across the top to Darvanisa. Darvanisa wide. Beautifully placed ball. Well placed in front of Kitschke. And the big fellow has the mark. Well, that was a well-put kick. Kitschke didn't miss a stride as he took that mark. Short again. Wilmot. He shrugged off Tyler on that occasion. Was his direct opponent. Now Wilmot, who already has 2 goals, one in the first and one in the second. After a great performance of 7 goals last week, comes in with plenty of confidence. It's drifting around to the left, however. Offline, one behind.
Well, Wilmot's original opponent in Roger Delaney left the ground with a hamstring injury and now appeals that Tyler is standing Wilmot. The ball's brought out. That's a fine mark taken by Hutton. Abernathy there looking to feed off. Now the play on call. Now it's called play on. Well done, Kim Russell. The ball's brought to Greg Boyd. Port Adelaide in control at the moment. Phillips. Run down there by Robert Klomp. Seen that on a number of occasions today. Happened to Port Adelaide players. Now it's Reed out there. He appears to be okay. McCarthy back there. Stolen by Phelps. Phelps' kick is wild and woolly. It's offline, so it's a minor score. Port Adelaide doing the majority of the attacking in the last quarter and a half of this game. And now 10 goals, 7. Sturt 6-4.
Phelps had Fiarchi on the end of a handball. Fiarchi would have been able to run into an open goal. Wide goes Whittlesea, looking for Reed. He couldn't control the ball. Curtis, where else? At the bottom of the pack. Tumbles it out to Harrison. Short, looking for Anderson. McCarthy from behind, and his marking today has been a feature. The handball off to Smith, well shepherded by Whittlesea. Wider in turn to Muskeni on the boundary. Can he keep it in? He can't. Muskeni now playing at centre wing after David Boyd. In fact, after David Walk left the field after a heavy knock. Playing on Greg Boyd. Into the front, Darvanisa with the tap. Greg Boyd heads towards the line and achieves what he set out to, pushing the ball across the line.
7.5 minutes gone in this third quarter. 67 plays 40, a 27-point lead to the Magpies. Free kick will go the way of Leo Darvanisa.
Yes, that is a difficult one.
Now the ball's taken there by Underwood. Fine mark. Underwood always looks to play on quickly. He's got himself out of trouble. Spears one out to the forward pocket. Oh, there was a push there, unsighted by Schramm. Delina there. In fact, it's Benson. Quite happy to see that ball go over the boundary line.
Good solid player, Benson. He opened the season at full forward when Wilmot was injured. Played very well in that position. Today playing half forward, and he certainly tried his best. Anderson with a quick kick away. Seems to do that a lot lately. One-step kick. Reynolds dropped an easy one. Phelps the handball back. Turned to Abernathy, who opened the game in sensational style. Now Ginniver at half forward. Darren Smith on the lead. He's got him too, I think. He has. Well placed, Ginniver. Smith too far out to score. Here's a nice kick. Now he elects to go long to the point of the square. Ginniver's dropped back underneath that one. But in the goal square, Michael O'Brien, the man of the moment. 2 goals in the second term, one only moments ago. And now an opportunity of belting through goal number 4. And I think you could almost count this before he kicks it. Chips in, easy. Oh, he's at the post. Well, sure as you say something, they let you down. He's at the post.
Well, that's a let-off for the Blues. As Smith brings the ball back into play and finds McCarthy. McCarthy's been a good player. He can hold his head up high. Being rock solid in defence. Kicks long, looking for Whittlesey. Whittlesey thumps the ball forward, keeps his feet. And taps the ball forward again. He's gained this height about 40 metres. Painter in there, used his body well. Eventually we'll have a bounce on the right forward flank for the Sturt side. They trail by 4-4 at 9 minutes this third quarter.
Eye coming off the ground, Eddie Fry on. Fry will go to the back pocket to pick up O'Brien, who has looked damaging. Curtis to Fiarchi. Fiarchi only on since the second quarter, has been a star. Geneva couldn't control that call.
Well, in fact, what happened, or what has happened, is Heinrich has gone on to O'Brien and Fry has been moved on to Harrison.
Thanks for that, Kim. Certainly some good moves. So Eddie Fry, they're hoping to get some penetration off a wing. That's where Fry has gone. McCarthy and Ruck opposed to Phelps. Darvanese couldn't control it. Smith at the bottom of the pack. Caught one high, free kick. Smith has Underwood short, that's the way he goes. Now in turn, Fry is loose on the wing. If he can get clear, Underwood will need to get moving. O'Brien did well to come down from the back pocket, but that's left his man Heinrich free. Now Heinrich goes to the run. So O'Brien had plenty of running to do on that occasion. It wasn't his fault. Fry through half forward. Well-placed kick. Delina, play on. No mark. Phillips. Been strong in defence today, Phillips. Bald. Abernathy. Put the ground well by Underwood. Aber was off. 15-metre penalty. Aber goes long to centre forward. Darren Williams pushing the back. Oh, a bit unlucky read. Darren Smith was underneath that one. He had to hold his ground, and Reid ran right over the top of him. 2 goals to date, Darren Smith. From 45 metres out. The angle is very slight. He's a good kick, the big fellow. He should just slam him deep into the goals. That one's not going to make the distance, or is it? Just offline, just inside the line, and a mark's been taken there for Port Adelaide. Phelps just tried to claim it. Umpire Schramm said that everyone had a little bit of that. He'll need to ball it up. You can understand the Port Adelaide fans are pretty happy about that one. Now you can hear it now. Kitschke thumps the ball across the line out of play. The throw-in will take place only a metre around from the right point post in Port Adelaide attacking zone.
68 plays 40, a 28-point lead to the Magpies. A few quick goals to Sturt could make this game interesting. Kitschke wins the tap down towards Smith. Smith tries to feed off quickly out to Russell. Whittlesey over the top of it. Now Russell in with a second chance. Gets a long handball out towards Fry. Fry with a left foot clearing kick. Gets his side out of trouble temporarily as Phillips picks that ball up. To Lum, back to Ball. Oh, he's well tackled. Play on the call. Picked up by Painter. Painter spears out a pass. Oh, it's missed. Oh, he's a chance. Wilmot lost his footing. He could have gone into an open goal. Now he's being pressured there by Taylor. He flicks the ball back out towards Reynolds. Tried to handle. Intercepted there by Hines. Galena over the top to Wilmot. Great desperate work by the Port Adelaide defence. And do you think that Mark Tyler doesn't breathe a sigh of relief? Desperately close.
Oh, was it what? They had 3 opportunities to have a shot at goal, the Double Blues. Port Adelaide defence was desperate. Tyler looking for Anderson. He couldn't control the ball. Moschini over the top of it, held by Fiarchi. Now a ball up surely. Yes, that's the way umpire Michael Abbott has seen it. Abbott's done a good job today. Puts the ball to ground. Lum with the tap. The handball came from Boyd to Curtis, who's worked tirelessly. His kick under pressure, however, didn't go far, and Darvanese chips in for the Double Blues. Darvanese from right half back. Kitschke's there for the double blues, but Lum has the mark. Now the handle off to Fiarchi, providing plenty of run. Now Phelps. He did that well, provided space for Even to run into. We saw him do that a couple of times earlier in the game. Comes under the ball, Phelps, and he takes the pack with him. Provides plenty of space for these forwards to run into.
Well, Sturt just not playing with that same zip and sparkle they had last week. They were running the ball well. Geneva in there. Eventually got it over towards Boyd. Now the mark's been taken by Abernethy, who's played an absolute blinder today. Whittlesey policing the mark. Abernethy has kicked 3 goals. He kicked Port Adelaide's first 2 goals in the first quarter and kicked their first for the third. This time he starts it out to the left, and that's exactly where it stays. Another minor score. The Maggies move to 10-9-69. The Double Blues 6-5. And we've had 19, in fact 14 minutes of this third quarter.
Bruce Abernethy kicked Port Adelaide's first 2 goals, correct, and then he opened up with, in fact, the first goal of the second term. McCarthy. Half-back. Fry tried to claim the mark. Geneva. Very little movement forward. He elects to go short. It wasn't well placed. Russell intercepts, plays on quickly. Delina. Through half forward. It's a wobbly old kick. Reynolds couldn't gather in the mark. Coming through strongly was Field. Now Reynolds throws out the handball to space. Greg Phillips is there. He's prepared to carry the ball across the line. In fact, he paddles it across the line. 1 rush point to Sturt. They go to 6-6, trailing Port Adelaide 10-9.
Well, we've had 15 minutes of this third term. There's only been 1 goal kicked, and that was by Port Adelaide's Michael O'Brien as the Magpies stream into attack again. This time the pass out towards Harvey. He couldn't take it. Tackles Benson. Benson gets a handball away. Now it's stolen again. This time it's Harrison. He's certainly got some pace. Pushes out that pass to Fiarchi. He's harassed by Underwood, and the ball eventually goes over the boundary line. Great crowd here today. We had about 8,000 people packed into this rather compact Alberton Oval.
Yes, Port Adelaide Sturt games are traditionally great games. This one turning out a little differently. It opened in fine style, but just fading a little bit. Smith. Klomp, good mark. He went off after starting the game very well first quarter with a hamstring injury. Now back onto the ground. His thigh is heavily strapped. Ball comes back. Russell sells the dummy. Almost ran himself into trouble. Klomp provided space. Now Klomp short, looking for Reynolds. He's got him. Well placed, Klomp. Touched off. Oh, no. Umpire's now saying it's a 15-metre penalty. Tyler's just giving Reynolds a little bit of extra attention. They don't let those double blue forwards have any easy kicks.
Well, experienced by Robert Klomp. That's a classic example of what happens when you get the ball in quickly.
Reynolds blasts away from only 10 metres out, directly in front. That's his first goal. The double blues desperately need that. Port Adelaide 10-9. Sturt 7-6.
Robert Klomp is obviously out there playing under difficulties. It was Russell who got the ball over to Klomp. He played on quickly. He's got a ton of experience, Robert Klomp. And that's the only way to go when you've got big men down there like Reynolds and Wilmot. You've got to get the ball in quickly, 1 out. And this time the big fella didn't let him down. A fine goal. Sturt need a few more quick ones to get back into this game.
Yes, and the double blues' last goal came at the 19-minute mark of the second term. So we've had just on 17.5 minutes of the third quarter. There've been 30 minutes of football without scoring a goal. Credit to the Port Adelaide defence. They've done a pretty good job. Back to do the ruck work. Kitschke for the double blues, number 3 versus Lum. It's been a solid battle today with Reynolds chipping in support and Phelps for Port Adelaide. Curtis again out of centre. On the left boot he goes. Fiarchi underneath that one. Keeps the ball in front of him well. Whittlesey over the top. A ball up at centre half forward for the Maggies. Michael Abbott, Darryl Schramm, the umpires this afternoon. Yet again, we'll see Lum and Kitschke go at it. Underwood thumped the ball forward, only as far as Harrison for the Magpies. He shot off the handball to Phillips, providing run. Phillips short, Fiacci. It's given them real drive through half forward, Fiacci. Now the left boot towards Darren Smith. He's up, the big fellow. Thumped away by Reid. Kitschke towards Heinrich. Heinrich sells the dummy well, comes out with the ball, throws it long to Klomp, down from centre half forward. The feed is to Underwood. Short he goes. Looking for Russell. Russell dispatched the ball well with the body. Now comes inboard to the run of Painter, under pressure. Painter does it beautifully. Holds the ball in the area until he can get clear. Concedes ground. Fry. Oh, Fry's been caught. He almost dropped the ball. The handball now back to Painter. Painter elects to go deep to the point of the square. Wilmot, strong body. Hutton from behind, couldn't take the mark. Now Benson's legged. Free kicks to the umpire, is it? We'll have to wait for the decision. In fact, the all clear's been given. The Double Blues have the goal.
And that's another goal to Ian Wilmot. He soaked that one up the ground to post his third goal. So the Blues just edge a little bit closer. Port Adelaide 10 goals, 9-69. The Double Blues 8-6. And they're just edging their way back into this game.
10 goals, 9, Port Adelaide, 8 goals, 6, Sturt. 69 plays now, 54. There's only 15 points in this game. The Double Blues, can they come back? Free kick's been picked out at centre field. Appears to be going the way of Fiacci. It's been a dynamo. Wide he goes, Phelps on the lead. Good chest mark in front of McCarthy. The long left boot goes forward. Darren Smith. The front it was Reid. Now Ginniver. He went to have a snap at goal. Kitschke ran over the top of him. Darviniza. Ginniver's still going. Looks to be hurt, Ginniver, but he's battled strongly for that one. Did a very good job. Little Rover. Come in for a bit of criticism early in the week, but he certainly battled strongly today. Schramm puts the ball to ground. Be Phelps and Kitschke. Phelps with the tap. Darryl Smith comes out of it for the Double Blues. Sturt to space. Field. Well placed by Smith. Klomp provides the lead. He goes towards the centre. Field has nowhere to go. He's waiting for a lead. Now he elects to go long to Klomp. From behind Benson. Oh, Benson got a fly but couldn't take the mark. In fact, he was pushed off the ball, said the umpire. Michael Abbott was right on the spot for that one. He had a perfect view of that.
Too slow to get the ball forward.
Benson to Fry. Fry up, hands around the ball. Reynolds, an opportunity, the big ruckman. He lumbers after it. Off to Painter. Painter concedes 30 metres with the handball. Kitschke through centre. Drives through centre forward. Klomp's underneath that one. Whittlesey also, but the mark's been taken there by David Hutton. Taken a couple of good, or Abernathy it is, in fact. That mark's not paid. Work that one out. Yes, it is. Thank goodness for that.
Abernathy to clear for the Magpies. Anderson there, so too is Hutton. Oh, well trapped there by Delena, and he will receive a free kick for a high tackle. Well, Delena's also given his side a little bit of bite. Well, Benson's all by himself. The ball eventually gets out there. Let's see if Benson can get the ball in a bit quicker. Fair way out from goal. Going back. He's obviously going to drive long. They've got to get the ball in quicker. These big men for Port Adelaide are dropping back. Big leap by Fry. 1,000 players there. That ball just goes over the line. So it's another point to the Blues. They're 8-7, Port Adelaide 10-9, and gee, for the sake of repeating myself, they must get the ball in quickly if they're going to allow their big men to mark.
Tyler brings the ball back into play after Kim Russell scored that behind. Fiacci creates space well. The left foot was not well put, however. Underwood plays on quickly, and doesn't this boy play on when he gets the ball? Short to centre half forward. Harvey overran the ball. Benson fed out the handball to Field. Field overran it. Now Delena. Delena long. It's gone in quickly, but nobody home for the Double Blues, and the mark back there has been taken by Abernathy. He wastes no time. Has a bounce. Long. Skinny's underneath that one. No doubt about that. Gave Hutton no chance. Now Moskini short. Underneath that one, Whittlesey. Double Blues playing around through half forward. short to Klomp. Now, depending on how Robert Klomp's leg is, he could have a go at the goals from here. Only 45 metres out. It's heavily strapped the left thigh. We thought it might have been a hamstring injury earlier. Certainly looked a little bit proppy as he went for that shot at goal. Hasn't quite got the distance, unfortunately. 3 for 1 behind. 8 goals, 8. The Double Blues trail Port Adelaide 10 goals, 9, and we've had just on 24.5 minutes into the third quarter.
56 plays 69, so there's only 13 points in this game. There's still a chance. Port Adelaide have certainly had all the play in that second quarter when they kicked 6 goals. But it's been Sturt doing the attacking now as the ball's taken out of side by Hines. Hines drives the ball long. Back there over the top of that is McCarthy, very close to the boundary line. Phelps has still kept the ball in play. Crashes one tackle, now gets the kick around his body. Good play by Phelps. Smith up high. Oh, great mark, Smith. Well, he appeared to be under that. Good hands. 15 metres as well. Smith can drive to the half-forward line. Back there is Lam. Up high goes Russell with the spoil. Taken by Field. Over the top. Now it's Russell with a chance. Back towards Whittlesey. Whittlesey has to burn off a few opponents. Now does so. Drives long towards the goal. It's true. Whittlesey's first goal. The Blues are back in business. 9-8. Port Adelaide 10-9, and we've got a game of football.
Oh, we certainly have. The Double Blues have got themselves back into this. They've scraped and scragged, and their desperate football has finally played off. Whittlesey's first. It's come just on the time on of the third term. They now trail by only 7 points, and this last quarter is going to be a beauty.
Whittlesey ruck roving, Painter centre, Reynolds in the ruck, Field roving for the Blues. Lum does the ruck work, fed out by Port Sentiment and Curtis. Over the ruck rover Anderson, out towards O'Brien, the danger player, stolen by Heinrich. Good move, oh, what a tackle, that's holding the ball. Oh, gee.
Oh, he just tried to go too far.
What a transformation. A piece of brilliant defensive play. All of a sudden it went haywire due to a couple of immaculate tackles. Port Adelaide back into attack. Reid over the top of that. This game's starting to liven up again. Reid didn't quite get onto that kick, and it goes out of bounds on the full. The half-forward flank, and the kick will be taken by Greg Boyd.
Just about the first mistake made by Peter Reid. He's been a good player. Skinny dragged back on the mark by Darryl Schramm. Boyd uncertain where to go. Short, very short to Abernathy. Congestion in the Port Adelaide forward line is acute. The long torpedo punt deep into the forward pocket. O'Brien had the ball thumped away well by Heinrich. Gathering the ball was Fiachi, who was dragged across the line by Underwood. No, beg your pardons there. Throw in. 2 minutes into time on, third term. 69 plays 62. Port Adelaide by only 7 points. Reynolds took front position and got the ball down to Field. His kick out of defence, underneath that one Russell. He almost took a good mark between Lum and Phelps, the two big fellows. In fact, Hutton was the other player. Now the free kick to Lum. A couple of supporters happy with that one. Lum. Long. Underneath that one is Reynolds. He couldn't take it. Fiachi, the crumbs, shot at goal. 1 point.
David, the free kick will go back to our young Reynolds. David Reynolds, high tackle, over the shoulder. Reynolds not sure which way to go. Now drives it to the grandstand wing. Back there is Lum. He's kicked it straight to his opponent, but there's a free kick, and that'll go the way of Tim Russell. Sturt players consensus getting back into this game. Russell on to Whittlesey. Whittlesey drives long, fries his target. Tried for a one-hander, picked up by Kitsky, back towards Fry, missed his mark. Phillips taps the ball out towards Geneva. Good play, Phillips. Over to Geneva, chances his arm, gets round an opponent. Now on to Abernathy, easily best on ground today, Abernathy. Over to Anderson, back to Abernathy in the 1-2. Left foot kick, Smith, Reid, back there is Reid. Oh, he's kicked it forward himself. And it's through for a point. But gee, nearly kicked that out of bounds on the full.
You would have felt for him had he. It was an educated kick at goal. He knew he had O'Brien running clear. Desperate work by Reid. Out wide now, Reynolds. The siren has sounded to end the third quarter here. Certainly an entertaining quarter of football as the Double Blues have dragged themselves back into this game. Port Adelaide, 10 goals, 10-70. Lead the Double Blues, 9 goals, 8-62. The margin only 8 points at three-quarter time, and the scene set for a great final turn. Final quarter at Alberton Oval, and the Magpies, after leading by 21 points at half-time, have thrown away their lead. They lead by only 8 points at the three-quarter time break. They only got 1 goal the third term. The Double Blues 3. Robert Klopp caught with the ball. Curtis tries to dive through the pack, hit too high, and now the free kick will go back to Stephen Curtis. It's been a dynamo at centre today, Curtis. Took a couple of heavy knocks. Now the handball to Phillips deep into the forward zone. Underneath that one, Smith and Reid. Reid in front position. The Archie now, Ginnivan. Ginnivan has a stab at goal. He's got it. Ginnivan has the goal. That's what the Port Adelaide side needed. They lead by now 14 points, and the first goal of this quarter was going to be the crucial one.
Well, that's Ginnivan's second goal. That's a very handy goal. They now lead by 14 points. Great start to the last quarter. It'll certainly test the character of this Double Blues side.
Final term. Less than 30 seconds old. Port Adelaide have a goal on the board. Merv Keane wouldn't be pleased with that. The Double Blues attempt to go forward, but there's that man Curtis again, combining with Anderson again. Been good players today, and so's this man for the Double Blues, Andrew Underwood. Very solid, great physique, tremendous pace. Kick, however, is not a good one. Dry, the handball. Now an opportunity. Port Adelaide, they couldn't go through. Player trying to burst his pack. In fact, Michael Abbott said the player ducked. Bottom of that pack, it's Tim Ginnivan.
76 plays 62. Lum in the ruck. He won the tap. He's done a good job today. Ginnivan couldn't get the kick away. Lum down on top of that, and he's won himself a free kick. Looks to feed off. Thought about Anderson. Decides to go it alone. Smith out in the lead. Oh, Whittles, he stood his ground well. Biaggi tackled as he got the kick away. Abernethy out there. First to the ball, harassed by Underwood. Well tackled. Play on the call. Now out the back door to Darviniza. Leo Darviniza clears the ball, but not effectively. It's out of bounds on the full. And the pressure starting to tell on this Sturt side, even these early stages of this final quarter.
The Archie will bring the ball back into play. He centres it. Smith was up. He's got the mark. Yes, umpire Michael Abbott has paid the mark. And Darren Smith, with 2 goals already today, now has an opportunity of putting the Magpies further in front. Greg Anderson just giving words of advice. Darren Smith, he got 1 goal in the first term. He missed a couple of relatively easy shots in the first quarter. He got one also in the second term. Now lines up for goal number 3. Very deliberate, steady at goal, 35 metres out, directly in front, right through the middle. Port Adelaide fans heave a sigh of relief.
Well, it was a strong mark to Smith. The Magpies now have a little bit of breathing space, a 20-point advantage, 82 points to 62. And Reid's done a pretty good job on Smith. Smith's kicked his 3 goals. We're only 4 minutes into this final term. So he's given his side something to aim for.
Darren Smith and Michael O'Brien with 3 goals each. The Stars up forward for Port Adelaide. Russell feeds the ball to Smith. Forward he goes. That was Daryl Smith for the Double Blues. Now Matt Benson, the handball back. Delina shrugs the tackle, lines up the goals. The Double Blues need one here. Wilmot shepherded it through. It's well done, Wilmot. It's a goal. Delina's got his first, and the Double Blues haven't been done yet.
Well, a quick reply and a great goal to Carl Delina. Had to shrug the tackle, steadied himself, and it was good work in the goal square by Ian Wilmot. He's shouting out to his players down the field. They're trying to rally some enthusiasm back into this side. There's only 14 points in it. Now the ball's back to the vital centre square position. And there's no doubt about it, that's where the game's won or lost.
Yes, Port Adelaide have had Curtis in centre. He's got the ball out well all day, and Anderson. Double Blues have struggled in that area just at smite. John Painter hasn't been as effective today. Now Geneva, thrown off the ball by Daryl Smith. In fact, the umpire said he threw the ball out. So the free kick going the way of Daryl Smith. Real veteran, the Double Blues side, Daryl Smith. Only played about 130 or 40 games. Missed a lot through injury, but tremendous experience. Muskeni punches the ball back to field. The young fellow did that well. Back to Smith. He fumbled at a crucial stage. Now he has time to run around, but it's gone high in the air. Clomps underneath that one. Phillips too. No Mark Phillips. Ball hit strongly by field. Greg Boyd. Can feel the tension out there. Now off the back line it was Hines. Through half forward, Reynolds. It was Tyler with that kick forward. Reynolds wide to Whittlesey. The Double Blues are still running. They're not going down without plenty of fight. Benson back to Kitschke. Kitschke with pace. The big fellow's off. Delina. He has to get around Curtis. He can't do that. Oh, Curtis has got him. Once Curtis gets anywhere near you, you're gone.
Exactly right. It's like a Venus fly trap once you get close to him. Ball on the half-forward flank. Paul Delina, you could see that happening. He had no show.
Yes, Curtis had him sized up. There's no way those vice-like arms are going to let him go at that point. The tram will bounce.
Lum again. Plump does the ruck work down towards Geneva. Whittlesey tapped it backwards, only straight to O'Brien though. Now Geneva in there again. Heinrich applies some pressure, so too does Whittlesey. The ball comes out to Anderson. Now on to O'Brien. O'Brien steadies, drives long. Smith from behind. Oh, he's got hands to it. Couldn't take it. Fiacci in there. Handballs away again. Now to Underwood. On to Painter. The Blues are out of trouble. David I clears from his back pocket. Not sure which way to go. Now he puts it out towards Muskeni. Muskeni bolts, kicks to the centre half forward position. Delina, Benson rather. Couldn't take it. Lum back there doing a Herculean job for his side. Punch forward. Muskeni again. Chips out short to Kitschke. The big fella was left lurking in the forward pocket. He's dispossessed. Lum again. Over to Ball. Balled out towards Abernethy. It's really been the difference today, Abba. Has had a great game. Craig Ebert. Spears out a pass, and as quick as you like, the ball's down the other end of the ground to Darren Smith, who in turn has given it to O'Brien. O'Brien, not a bad kick. Oh, he's been given 15 metres as well. Well, Heinrich not happy. I didn't see the incident.
He overstepped the mark is what happened, Kim, and the umpire saw him go over it and has applied a 15-metre penalty at a very crucial stage. The umpire was the man right on the spot, however. O'Brien now 20 metres out, directly in front. He already has 3 goals today. Now he has 4. Certainly been an inspiring performance up forward for Michael O'Brien and a welcome return to form.
Well, Sturt, they were deep into attack. The ball was put out to Kitschke. He was dispossessed. Lund got a kick away. In a matter of seconds, the ball was taken down the other end of the ground with an immaculate disposal. Eventually ended up with O'Brien. Heinrich appeared to infringe. Gave away 15 metres. Put O'Brien within range. And he did not miss and posted his 4th goal. 88 plays 68. It's back to 20 points. Going to be a big job for the Blues to get back into this.
Back at centre, the Blues need this one. They need to go forward. Port Adelaide have 3 goals this term. The Double Blues have only 1, and that was Carl Delina at the 4-minute mark. Played just on 9 minutes of the final term. Painter, the quick kick forward. Nobody there for the double blues. Phillips has been rock solid today at centre half back. Pomp gave him a bit of run around early, but Phillips has been strong in that position. Now Greg Boyd forward, a little wide. Phelps keeps the ball in play. He used his pace well, the big fellow. I couldn't control it. Now Heinrich under pressure. The underground handball. Fiacci inside the line. The left boot goes back. Oh, O'Brien's got it. Well, he's a confidence player, O'Brien. 4 goals today. He certainly struggled last week. In fact, he didn't score a goal. He played on centre wing. Tell me his form was ordinary, but the return to the forward pocket today has brought with it new confidence. As O'Brien lines up for goal number 5. It's offline, cross to the right, through for one behind. So 4 goals, 3 today, Michael O'Brien, and he has missed a couple of easy ones.
89, plays 68. 28-point lead to the Magpies. Certainly been a better effort today. Annihilated by Woodville last week. And there's another mark to Lum. In a fine game. Great game of football. Back towards Abernethy. This fella's best on ground. Drives it in long again. Darren Smith 3 deep. Jennifer lost his footing. Taken by Darryl Smith. Smith clears to the outer side and finds Painter. Painter's got some space. Long left-handed handball to Moskeni. Klopp tries to lead. He's troubled by either a driving muscle or a hamstring. Moskeni goes it alone. Gains valuable meterage. Back towards Benson. He couldn't get a hand to it. In there is Wilmot. Paddling the ball forward. Desperate work. About 50 metres out from the double blue goal, and we'll have a bounce by umpire Abbott.
21 points now, the margin. Double blues aren't going to give this game up easily. Into attack again they go. Delena with the ball. He tried to have a snap at goal. Wilmot is underneath that one. Tyler lost his footing, and Wilmot took the easiest of chess marks. Ian Wilmot, 3 goals, 1 in each term. 3 goals coming up for goal number 4. The angle will be very tight. Will need his best kick to goal from there. He puts it up, brings it back beautifully. That was a lovely kick to Wilmot. 4 goals to the big full forward. A great display from limited opportunities, and the double blues yet again start to come back.
Well, the Blues stay in touch. We've had 12 minutes. Port Adelaide are 13-11-89, and the double blues are 11-8-74. There's not a lot in this game. In fact, there's 15 points the difference.
Quick goal here to the double blues would make this game more than interesting. Forward they go. Harrison picks up the ball. It was held to him by Painter. Umpire Michael Abbott will come in and bounce. Certainly in for a desperate final stage to this game. Painter tries to push his way through the pack. He couldn't do so, however. Sturt player there, and Kim Russell was thrown away by Abernathy. Greg Phillips in the bottom of the pack. Glad he was on the bottom of it. I'd hate him to land on me. Michael Abbott. Ball to ground. Phelps with the tap went down. Fiacci. Tackle when not in possession. Umpire Michael Abbott, even though he was under pressure, has seen the infringement. Fiacci, who came onto the ground, he started the game on the interchange bench. He came onto the ground early in the second term, has provided plenty of run and plenty of bite to the Magpie forward and roving divisions. In the centre of the ground, Fiacci. No lead forthcoming. He elects to go back and take a long kick. Drops it deep into half forward. Underneath that one is Harrison. He couldn't take the mark, but he's won himself the free kick. No, says the umpire, the mark. He didn't have much of it.
Dropped it in my book.
Yes. Harrison from half forward. Drives deep. Darren Smith is there, high. He took the fly. Jennifer roves the crumbs beautifully. Great Rovers goal, Tim Jennifer. 3 goals to him. He got one earlier in the final term. He certainly helped to set up what should now be a Port Adelaide victory.
Certainly has. That was a great Rovers goal, as you mentioned, David. Scouted the pack superbly, took it off hand, streamed towards goal, banged it through. That's his 3rd goal, 2nd one this quarter, and he certainly has played a big part in Port Adelaide's effort today if they are to win this game.
And now lead by 21 points again. We've had 14 minutes in. They could close up shop now, Port Adelaide, and still win, but the Double Blues are going to fight it right down to the finish. Now tackled strongly. The ball was held to him by Boyd. Boyd was appealing for the free kick, but it's not there, and Schramm will bounce. In ruck, Kitschke, opposed to Phelps. Kitschke got the tap backwards. Greg Boyd, the kick forwards. Pack develops, another ball up will take place. So at the 15-minute mark, Port Adelaide, 14 goals, 11.95. Sturt, 11 goals, 8.74. Margin, 21 points.
Lum's done a great job in ruck. The ball comes out now in the direction of Smith. Here he sees an unfavourable bounce. It's tapped forward by Muskeni. Lum in there. Oh, the player loses his footing. Harvey. Very close to the boundary line. In fact, there's been some action behind the play. The free kick will still be taken by Greg Anderson. Starting to get very dark here at Alberton Oval. Smith front position. Oh, nearly took the mark. In there, Darvanisa. And he wins himself a free kick. It was a high tackle. So it'll be Leo Darvanisa to clear for the Blues. Not a lot of movement. Klomp tries to offer a lead. Front position, takes the mark. Klomp hasn't got much up forward. There's no movement. Benson's just standing there. Now realises he has to offer something. Oh, there's a push in the back. Play on, says Michael Abbott. Play on advantage. Good umpiring. Taken by Russell. Russell drives in, looking for Wilmot. Oh, up high there was Tyler. Harvey stayed down, took the ball with him. There's a great kick to touch. Harvey playing safe, went for the boundary line. 15 minutes gone, 95 plays 74. Good defensive action by John Harvey, back in the side today. Had very little other space to kick to. Went for the safety of the boundary line. Phillips, the old warhorse, from behind. Now John Harvey, off to David Hutton. Hutton's kick is not well placed, but fortunately for him, it's found big Jeffrey Phelps. Jeffrey Phelps has played centre-half forward all day. McCarthy's been his direct opponent. It's been a terrific battle. Smith underneath that one. The handball back to Daryl Smith. Peter Heinrich, left boot. Painter controlled it beautifully. Almost in slow motion, Painter. Wide he goes. Russell on the lead. He's found him. Well placed. Whittlesey from Russell. High into the forward zone. Reynolds is there. So too Wilmot. Tyler the big thump away from behind. In fact, it was Hines. Now Phillips. Off to Abernathy. Dividing well. Wide to Curtis. Curtis has been a very good player for the Magpies this afternoon, and that kick to O'Brien was a gem. O'Brien's full of confidence now, running to space. 4 goals on the board. In fact, 4 goals, 3. To the point of the square he goes. That one's bounced through. 4 goals, 4. Not a bad effort from Michael O'Brien. Port Adelaide now 14 goals, 12. Sturt are 11 goals, 8. O'Brien certainly got some pace. Smith plays onto himself, then gets the long handball over the top towards Eye. Eye centres the ball, looking for Whittlesey. Whittlesey's been quiet in this last quarter. He kicks out and finds Eddie Fry. Very cold here at Alberton Oval. Smith drives in long. He was looking for Reynolds. Back of the pack was Benson. He's given away a free kick, though. It'll go the way of John Harvey. Harvey plays on quickly to Phillips. Phillips in turn to Boyd. Boyd drops one in short and finds Harrison. Port Adelaide fans appreciating this effort today by their side. And down in recent weeks, Harrison drives long. Back there was Kitschke, so too Phelps. Stolen by Anderson. Oh, sells the dummy twice. Eventually got the handball out towards Abernathy again. Now the ball's taken by Whittlesey. Whittlesey over to Field. Back to Field again. Muskeni was the player that gave it back to him. Now Field drives in long. Back there Reynolds. Front position. One grab. Couldn't get a second. Snapped by Delena and it's through. Delena posts his second goal for the quarter. 12 goals, 8. The Double Blues. The Magpies 14-12. And there's still time if they're good enough.
Well, they're certainly trying, the Double Blues. Make no mistake, if they can get up, they'll certainly have a go. Not going to give up without a whimper. Delina's second goal from good movement forward. They've got Reynolds deep in the forward zone trying to find the ball, now having a run in ruck. So Kitschke will go back to the forward zone. Reynolds in ruck. So they've got a big fellow as well as Wilmot up forward, and that's where they're heading.
There's been an infringement there. The Port Adelaide runner's been told to get off the ground in no uncertain terms. There he is. And he's got his back to the crowd. I would imagine he'll be getting a few messages over the fence. Now he bolts back off to give his message. Back in the centre though, the ball has been taken there by Phelps. Now McCarthy, Phelps' opponent, gets a kick away out towards Russell. He's being harassed by Hutton. Taps the ball backwards. Goes over the boundary line on the outer wing. 20 minutes gone.
Yeah, 16 minutes. In fact, 16 points the difference at the 20-minute mark of the final term, and conditions getting very cold here at Alberton. Reynolds and Lum go at it. Lum has done a good job today for Port Adelaide. Now Geneva has been solid around the packs. Greg Boyd gathers in the ball. Can't get it clear. Umpire Michael Abbott will have a ball up. Plenty of time left for the Double Blues. They had 3 goals this quarter. Port Adelaide had 4. The margin was only 8 points at three-quarter time. They've still got their work in front of them. Ball comes out looking for Boyd. He can't quite keep the ball in play. Curtis was the player who was pursuing the ball. Underwood was pursuing Curtis, and the ball is out of play.
Well, the scoreboard lights are on. Reynolds to do the ruck work. Port Adelaide back into attack. Underneath that, Underwood. Darviniza. Oh, he went for the safety of the line. That was rather blatant. It's not too often the umpires pick them up, players up on that. 22 minutes gone, 96 plays 80.
Ball come back into play. Reynolds, number 5 for the Double Blues. He got the tap down. Field did the shepherding work for Eye. Eye's kick is short, looking for Muskeni. Anderson keeps the ball in play. Now the handball back to Boyd. Boyd not sure where to go, concedes ground. Back to centre, Abernathy. With pace, well-placed kick, Darren Smith. In fact, a beautifully placed kick from Abernathy has found Darren Smith. 3 goals to the big full forward. Certainly looks to be regaining some touch. 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Chips away at him. That's his 4th. Good return to form for Darren Smith. And now the Magpies advance by 22 points.
And that could be the end for the Blues. They trail by 22 points. Probably about 7 minutes remaining here at Alberton Oval. Back 102 plays 80.
Back at centre, be Reynolds and Lund. Lund got the big thump forward. Now an opportunity for the Magpies. They go forward through Craig Ebert. Back in defence, Darviniza has the mark. Handball's off to Whittlesea. Double Blues were impressive early. Magpies now have this game sewn up, however, I think. McCarthy from half back, short he goes. Looking for Klomp, tackled strongly by Phillips, and Phillips has been a very good player today. Now Anderson, the one-step left boot kick into the forward zone. Heinrich thumped the ball away from O'Brien. Eye back to Heinrich. Over the top he goes, slow motion football. Darryl Smith through half forward. Greg Phillips again, a star. Phillips and Abernathy have been the two that have really set up this victory for Port Adelaide. Along with Stephen Curtis, Greg Anderson hasn't been a bad player also. That kick wasn't his best. Darviniza has the mark at full back.
And don't leave out Fiarchi, because he certainly gave them some bite when coming onto the ground. Now the ball comes back out to Benson. He plays on quickly to Scott Field. Field over the top to Whittlesea. Those 3 players were stars last week against Central. They've been a lot quieter today as Whittlesea drives in long, looking for Ketski. Couldn't take that mark. Russell in there. Run down, holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of Hutton. Hutton not sure which way to go. He kicks out wide, looking for Abernethy. Abernethy opposed to Painter. That's a fine mark to Aber. Strong body work. Phillips now providing some run, even has a bounce. Spears out a pass. It's a good pass too that found Phelps. Phelps plays on quickly. Jeffrey Phelps over the top to Anderson. Port Adelaide starting to look pretty good now. They drive that back, and there's a good mark to Underwood. Underwood's got Eddie Fry. Fry's all by himself. Makes a fine mark. Plays on quickly with a handball to Eye. Eye drives forward looking for Russell. Over the head of that player. Klopp nearly took it off hands. Couldn't do so. John Harvey was pretty solid in the Vents. Overran that one. Oh, Benson copped a high one. Receives the free kick. Too far out to score, though. Wilmot's back there. So too is Kitsky. So too will everyone else in a minute. Now the ball drives in long. Back there was Lund. They allowed the big man to get back there and they paid the price.
Yes, they did, in fact. They moved the ball in quick, the Double Blues. They look very good, but the big man strength of Port Adelaide in the defensive zone has been good today. Now David Hutton with the mark. Plays on. High. Underneath that one, Abernethy. Couldn't take that one. Eddie Fry. Long. Again, Lum's back there in defence. He couldn't take that one, but there's been a free kick picked out. It's going the way of Ian Wilmot. The umpire said Mark Tyler held on to his Guernsey as he went for the ball. The free kick will go to Ian Wilmot. 4 goals, 1 to date, Wilmot. In fact, he has 1 in each quarter. 25 metres out, directly in front. Goal number 5, Ian Wilmot from very limited opportunities.
Port Adelaide 15-12, 102. Been a pretty good effort, 27 scoring shots. The Blues have kicked 13 goals, 8. But Wilmot, 5 goals. It hasn't been a bad effort because the ball really hasn't been brought in that well for him today. They've taken too long to get it down there. And whilst they're fighting this game out, Port Adelaide have been too strong. They've led from the start and what should be the finish.
Been a good game at Alberton Oval this afternoon. Both sides have given it their all. Lum with the tap. Down it goes. Phelps couldn't get the ball out. Now an opportunity to shovel the handball wide. It was Boyd who gave it to Fiarchi, who kicks deep into the forward zone. Darren Smith swamped by players. Now Heinrich in defence for the Double Blues. Heads towards the boundary line. And that's where the ball will finish. And of course, next week we see Sturt coming up against Norwood at Adelaide Oval. That will be a test for them as well. Port Adelaide have Glenelg down at the Bay. Another test for the Magpies.
Right forward pocket for the Maggies. Phelps tries to do the ruck work. Taps it down towards Ginniver. Ginniver's been pretty handy today with 3 goals. Now the ball comes out to Painter. And that kick by Painter was just wide of Fry. Painter puts his hand over his face in disgust. We've mentioned on a number of occasions it's rare that for him to not use a possession. Lum, Reynolds. Reynolds with the tap. Ball kicked away by Fry. Back there is Plonk, so too is Boyd. Boyd breaks through a couple of players. Does it easily. Now the handball on to Abernethy. Abernethy's been a star today. Phillips gets a kick out in the sunlight. I tell you, you need some sun today. It's freezing here at Alberton Oval as the Bulls punch forward. Out there is Curtis. So too Painter. Curtis jumps over the top of that. Curtis almost laying an egg there as Greg Whittlesey tried to pluck that one from between his thighs.
Michael Abbott with the bounce. Be careful what you say there. Reynolds with the tap forward for the Double Blues. Ball across the line. So at the 28-minute mark of the final term, it certainly appears that Port Adelaide will win this game. 15 goals, 12, 102. Leading Sturt 13 goals, 8, 86. Margin now 16 points. Not going to be all that comfortable in the finish. Lum and Reynolds go at it again. 29 is Lum. Been a good ruckman today. Reynolds has battled strongly. All comes down to Anderson. 1 foot bang. Gets into that one again. Tap came forward from O'Brien. Darren Smith tapped it cleverly on to Curtis. Into the open goal. Goal, Curtis. That's his first, and that certainly wraps up this game here at Port Adelaide. Magpies now advance on to 16 goals 12. Sturt lingering on 13 goals 8.
Well, it's been a pretty good effort by the Magpies today. They led by 2 points at the end of the first quarter, 21 points at half-time. Then the Blues fought back. It was only 8 points at three-quarter time. We looked like we'd have a game of football, but Port Adelaide have been too strong. They've taken it right away from this double Blues side. They're 108 points, plays 80. 86, in fact. Scoreboard at
Alberton Oval, very difficult to see as the sun's shining on it. See the reams of sunshine across the ground as Lund gets tapped down to Abernathy. Quick left foot kick. McCarthy overran it. Now opportunity for Anderson, tackled high, threw out the handball, gave Ginniver an opportunity to drive forward. Darren Smith's out after that one. Hands the ball, punched away well by Darvanese. Now O'Brien. Back to Smith, tackled strongly by Delina. Now Painter. Boyd desperately. Moskini under pressure from Fiarchi. Paddles it forward. The run from Abernathy, pursued by Klomp. Klomp like a steam train through. Held when not in possession was Abernathy, and the free kick will go to Port Adelaide Star. Opened the game with 2 magnificent goals, Abernathy. Continued that good form all day. Ruck roving and half forward. Hutton from his half-back flank down in the forward zone. What's he doing there? He wants a shot at goal. Darren Smith from behind. Darvanese tucked the ball away. Now the quick snap at goal. As the siren sounds here, Port Adelaide 16 goals 13, 109. A defeated Sturt 13 goals 8, 86. And certainly a top game of football from Alberton Oval.